That one. Yeah, go ahead. Good morning, AM Lockport Toastmasters members and guests. Would everyone please that's present stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Does anyone present or on Zoom have any announcements they'd like to make? Kate. Good morning, Kate. Good morning.
Good morning, Marty. Good morning, everybody. I think I would like to start off with, oh, we didn't do the inspiration yet, or we did? She's going to. Oh, we're, okay. I'll let you all figure that out. We've got Sylvia in the room who might do that. Maggie's on deck, but we do have other things to fill anyway. I want to share that we lost a past member, and I will share an obituary later today. Les Sigarnik passed away in Pennsylvania. He moved there some years back in our Tom's Diner days, and I don't know all of the details. The service will be held in Pennsylvania. I will email that out to everybody later today. I know that many of you never met him, but many of you did. He was an amazing part of our club, and he was always about improving our skills, especially those who were looking for jobs. He was always the type to encourage folks to do interviewing and role playing, and that was his career. He made a lifelong passion out of that. And so we'll keep Les Sigarnik in our thoughts and prayers and his entire family. I also would like to share, we've solidified some details about May 3rd, Shaw Festival and Going to Anything Goes. I put down a deposit on tickets. Again, that's May 3rd, and I'm gonna send out the details. We get a good deal because we go for the dress rehearsal matinee times, and I will do the exchange again, but the tickets are about $50. Because we're doing a group, you're saving about $25. I'll do the conversion again and send that out to everybody. Again, it's for Anything Goes on the matinee, Saturday, May 3rd. Also, we have one more announcement, and that's from Karen Stewart. Can I announce that? Okay. Karen messaged Eric and I. She is our division director. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday is our Division A contest. And they have the roles all filled. Hooray, a couple weeks out. That's fantastic, to my understanding. They're looking for some more folks for that Saturday, March 29th, to provide refreshments. I'll be doing that, so if anybody has any questions about coordinating that, I'm coordinating with Karen later today, and I think it's at 10 a.m. that Saturday morning or thereabouts. In any case, I might as well throw out who is in the room and who's here, and then I'll kick it back to Marty. We've got Eric, Len, Sylvia, Marty, Mike Florio, Steve Smith, Beth, Dave Licata, myself, and Jackie. And on Zoom, we have Margot and Maggie and Phil Russell and David Jones, Tracy Farrell. Am I missing anyone in the space? Darcy, I'm looking right at you. I apologize. Are you on here and I missed you? Are you a member? Are you a guest? Hooray, our newest member. I wasn't here last week. I am so sorry. I'll sign you in. It's okay. All right, awesome. And Darcy, our newest member. Thank you so much. And back to you, Marty. I'll try not to, is this your pen or my pen? I'm not sure.
Marty.
Thank you, Kate.
Marty, if I can make two announcements real quick.
Margot, yes.
Sure. Number one, our Barker Lions Club is again holding a CPR workshop on the first Saturday of June. It is $49, 3.5-hour course. You will be certified for 3 years. Darcy, welcome as a member. I am scheduled to speak next week. If you would like my spot for your icebreaker, you are welcome to take it. Let me know. Thank you, Marty.
Thank you, Margot.
I just want to remind everyone that I'll be working on this next schedule. So if there's anything specific that you want to, take care of, the dates that you can't make it, please let me know, and I'll have that out shortly.
Thank you, Mike. At this point in time, I'd like to welcome up our club president and Toastmaster of the day, Eric Schneider. Welcome, Eric. Welcome, Eric.
Lower this thing down a bit. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. It's good to see everybody this morning. Hope everybody had a good St. Patrick's Day. Hope everybody wore green and drank Guinness. And I know Kate posted on Facebook, I saw how Carson Daly drank the whole glass of Guinness on live television. I think he drank about one, like a half a glass, and then he drank one more, like a full glass. And that was really funny to watch, but entertaining. So first off, I would like to propose a toast. Everybody grab their drinks. To St. Patrick's Day, may we all feel Irish here, there, everywhere, every day. Yeah, I'm getting to that, Dave. I would like to invite up Sylvia Baptiste, who invited our inspiration quote master and our general evaluator. Come up, Sylvia. She's pulling triple duty today.
Morning, everyone. So, yes, my phone don't want to work now. Here we go. The inspiration quote for St. Patrick's Day, the Irish. May your troubles be less and your blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come through your door. The other quote I picked, which I just loved, I thought it was appropriate for this place, this group. A good friend is like a four-leaf clover, hard to find, lucky to have one. And as general evaluator this morning, I will be evaluating the Toastmaster and our 3 evaluators.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. Before I get into the word master, we have a little change up in the schedule. We're going to be doing speeches first because Les Robinson has to leave early, and Kate will be our table topics, filling in for Mary. And unless anybody wants it, and if anybody else wants it, and that's it. Okay. Our word master of the day, and we'd like to thank her for taking on the role, our newest member, Darcy Colby. Come on up.
Thank you, Eric. All right, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Today's word of the day is paramount. The definition of paramount, it's of chief concern or importance, having the highest rank or jurisdiction, superior to all others, chief, supreme, preeminent. It is paramount that I get up very early on Thursday mornings to make it to Toastmasters on time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Darcy. And we'd like to welcome back our guest, Peggy. Welcome back. Our master on Zoom is Mr. Phil Russell. Phil, can you explain your job for today as master?
There we go. The touchscreen doesn't seem too touchy, and it needs to be paramount to my ability to use this crazy phone as I talk here. Now, my job is paramount to you, that I watch for the ahs, ers, and all those other filler words when you're supposed to be using just correct English. I am the master. Thank you much, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Phil. Love the shirt.
Thank you.
Our grammarian doing it for the second time this week is David Jones. David.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I will be your grammarian this morning. It is paramount because we want to use good English and find rooms for improvement with our grammar and various words. And I will report at the end of the meeting. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, David. Our jester this morning on Zoom is Maggie Craig. Maggie.
Good morning, Toastmasters, honored guest. I felt it was paramount to redeem myself as jester after last week. Jesters are known as court fools and entertainers in medieval and Renaissance Europe, and they performed for royalty and noble households. The role combined comedy, music, storytelling, acrobatics. They often used satire to mock the court or comment on political matters. While jesters were typically seen as humorous figures, their ability to speak truth under the guise of comedy gave them a unique position of influence. Their legacy lives on in modern political satirists and comedic performers. Two well-known political satirists were Mark Twain and Will Rogers, and I'd like to quote them for my jest. Mark Twain, suppose you were an idiot. And suppose you were a member of Congress. But I repeat myself. Will Rogers, I don't make jokes. I just watch the government and report the facts. And in case you thought that I forgot the theme of St. Patrick's Day or Irish, I'll leave you with this. Why don't you iron? Do it again. Why don't you iron 4-leaf clovers? Because you don't want to press your luck. And before I press mine, have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you very much. Our timer this morning is Beth Banks.
Good morning, everyone. I will be timer this morning. Well, of course, Len's help because he does the Zoom one, but I will be timing table topics, which are 1.5 to 2 minutes with a 15-second buffer. Most speeches are 5 to 7 with a 30-second buffer, and evaluations are 2 to 3 minutes with a 30-second buffer. Correct? That's what it says here, so. I don't memorize it. I just have to read it off. Sorry, guys. Thank you.
And our quiz master is Len Thornton.
Thank you. Reprising my role from last week as quiz master, I will attempt to stay alert enough and capture a few inane facts throughout the meeting. And then the paramount subset of those I will quiz you on, just to make sure that you as well paid attention. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Len. All right. St. Patrick's Day. I'm a big fan of corned beef and cabbage, but sometimes I don't want to gross anybody out, but I put ketchup on corned beef. It's delicious to me. I put ketchup on broccoli and yeah. But I never drink Guinness. Sorry to disappoint you, everybody, but I don't drink Guinness. But maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe one of these days I'll have a small glass of Guinness. Okay, you have a shortcut for me? Yeah, we can talk at breakfast. Okay, Dave. Oh, I did not know that. Has a lot of iron in it. Okay, there's some good tidbits I did not know about. Thank you for that. We're going to get into our speaking portion of the meeting because since Les has to leave early, so we'll start with our first evaluator is Kate, and she'll give us what Les will be speaking about this morning. Kate?
Thank you again, Eric, and everyone. Les is presenting what we all strive for, those of us in Pathways. The paramount level would be the 5th level, the top level. The path is complete. There are a dozen paths you can choose from, and Les is reflecting on his path now that he has completed. This is a level 5. It is the presentation mastery path. This is a longer speech, and Les, Mom was just double checking. Would you like the lights at 10, 11, and 12? Does that sound appropriate to you?
Sounds good.
Awesome. I will say this may seem out of order that we're doing speeches first and then table topics. However, many clubs that I've been a member of do that every time, which does make sense whether they hold 1, 2, or 3 speeches, depending on their timing, because then you know at the end how much time you have to then let table topics go longer or shorter, depending on our timing. So I will throw out that I do like when I'm visiting or a member of other clubs that do that. For example, rhetorical roar. Some of us, 3 of us in the room, have been a member of that club, and that is standard practice there. I love that we are hearing from Les again, and his objectives in this longer speech are to reflect on the growth of the speaker and to give some aspect, to maybe share some aspect or aspects of how you've grown. Les, I can't wait to hear this. And do you have the title and you'll introduce him? All right, Ken. Fantastic. We have, if I can use my technology, Les Robinson, My Growth in This Pathway. My Growth in This Pathway, Les Robinson.
Okay. This is a Paramount Pathways. When I first signed up for this Pathways, I basically said, hey, this is going to be like a tune-up of my 73 Ford Mustang when I roll it out. I basically check the transmission, I check the fuel, I check all the stuff, maybe have to get the timing light out, but it's a very minute 20-minute process. When I did this, because I have been doing presentations for over 25 years, and I've been in Toastmasters for over 15 years, I thought this would be a very simple, easy walkthrough. Well, I was very surprised at how it went from the beginning to the end. I was brought into Toastmasters because of 2 people, Dave Licata and Charlie Deacon. Now, when I started this pathway, I kind of was like, yeah, I can just sit back, do my speeches, tie them into long-term care, because everyone loves about long-term care, path of cares. Everyone loves those speeches, but I use bits and pieces to practice when my seminars kind of go off the rails or aren't good, because it's better to get criticism here than not get clients in the seminars. Now, as I continued through, I noticed a lot of things started to happen. As I went and I was speaking at the Financial Planners Association's National Convention. I got prepared for that with Margie as a co-speaker. And I'm like, this is going to be so fun. This is going to be easy because I've been doing Toastmasters for so long. This is the big game. This is the Super Bowl. This is what I have wanted to achieve to. This was the paramount event, to speak at a national convention. And I was asked to speak. That was even made it more exciting. So now I'm preparing with Margie. We're getting prepared. We're prepping. I'm standing up. I'm presenting in front of the dogs, standing straight, trusting my gestures, make sure I'm not saying okay, acronyms, everything that everybody has told me over the past few years. I have a little list of stuff that I make sure that I will not be doing in front of a room of professionals. I relaxed, stood tall, gave my presentation, and I had a great time. I enjoyed it. I could see the audience come in. I could see the audience go out. I could see what made them like, wow, think. I kept eye contact with everybody in the group, gestures, used a deep, confident voice. All of the stuff that we are taught to do in our different pathways to become better speakers and better leaders. I had achieved that, but I missed one little itty bitty goal. I noticed that Margie was a little more animated than me. And I was like, wow, okay, Margie, okay. She's done speeches before at major events. Okay. Maybe it was the first time jitters. And I sat back and I thought about it. I said, I need to be a little more animated. Then I looked at my seminars. I was like, I'm kind of like the robot. I said, I've been doing these so long. I've walked in and just go boom, 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 boom. I'm not animated. Not animated at one bit. It's animated, but not to the point of having fun in the speech. That is the last piece of when you do a presentation, you want to have fun and you want to have enjoyment. So I was going through the pathways and I'm looking through all the stuff and I come across the pathway. Ooh, this looks like fun. And we all remember the speech I gave around Christmas time or January after my knee replacement was the dues increase. I had a blast with that speech. And I think everyone, everyone at AM Lockport that was either there personally or on remote had a great time. It was a very long speech. It was a very fun speech. Everybody had a great time. And that's where I realized that I went and did a speech to have fun, not to find out what Les Robinson did wrong, what Les Robinson needs to be evaluated on. I did a speech and had fun. I actually put a lot of work into the speech. Well, when you're kind of sitting around with your knee replacement, you have not a lot of stuff to do because you can't do a lot. So you practice your speech, and the caregivers got to hear it. My dogs got to hear it. Everybody got to hear it. But I had a fun and exciting time. And I think everyone will agree that when we got done with the speech, everybody got a good laugh out of it, and it was fun. And that was the final piece of the presentation pathways that I realized that that's good. But there was a couple more things. Now, having my knee replacement was a very interesting event. I went back to my chiropractor a few times because they got pounded in my hips because my body was realigning. Now you're saying, why are you talking about chiropractoring in a speech presentation? Very simple. I did not realize this until a few more chiropractor events. I went in and Peter Case goes, you're pretty straight. You're pretty adjusted. I'm like, wow. So the knee replacement's working. He goes, yeah, you're standing straighter. You're doing your stretches. You're doing your core. Now, if we all remember, if Mike Florio's here, we had our presentation about core exercises, how important they are. And I remember at the Y, Mike was working out and I worked out and we talked about core. Core is very important. And core goes back to your speeches. You have to have a core presentation ability. And what happened is I noticed as I started walking around and people were saying I was taller. I was a taller person with my presentation. And there's my wife. She's not used to me doing my speeches this early. But as I noticed was that this was the last piece of the puzzle being a Toastmasters. You need to stand straight. And I noticed that for the past 10 years after I've had my knee scalped, I've been bending over. And as I sat there and I stood up, people that I've been running into lately have been saying, Les, you're taller. I'm 57 years old. 57-year-old people do not grow. But if 57-year-old people have been going kind of like this for the past couple of years because of their knee and their body then recalibrates to be straight, I probably started out with my presentations nice and straight, but because of my knee, I practice this standing up, is that you're going to start to fall down. Now, as I've been doing my presentations this year in 2025, I have been standing a lot more straighter, more erect. And I like it because what happens is I probably have been giving my speeches and I've been like the Leaning Tower of Pisa because I have to stand for 2 hours. And you're sitting there going, is that making a difference? Not exactly sure. But all of these pieces in this presentation pathway made me a better speaker. And I started this with a 0 level expectations. I had nothing there to really think about. I thought this was going to be another workbook, do your speeches, get through it. But what is the dramatic changes in the whole event? I've been enjoying myself. I've had a little more gestures, more confidence because I know I'm standing straighter, making sure you use your deep voice, gesturing. And by standing straighter, you're more professional. I'm able to control the audience with my gestures and my large arm movements. I can't do that right now. Better vocal variety. The audience is aware of what I'm doing. Now tie this all together into a nice little package. I'm standing straighter, I'm using vocal variety, and I'm having an enjoyable time. And I noticed this when we were doing some wellness events, speaking at, I was having a good time. I was engaging or interacting more with the audience these past 2 to 3 months than I have probably in the past 3 to 4 years. So sometimes when you walk in, decide to do a pathway, and you have zero expectations because you've been doing something so long, you listen to the people because you're looking for little bits to make you more effective as a speaker. And when you stand back, you have a couple things that go on in your life. And I think everything happens for a reason. This was picked, my knee replacement, all of this came together to make me look at my speaking ability so I would become a better speaker. I would be more energetic. I wouldn't be kind of like the leaning tower of Pisa. I would be Les Robinson, standing straight, commanding the audience. And that's what we are taught to do at Toastmasters is leadership and speaking. That's why we came and joined this organization to be better communicators and to be better leaders. And that's what this pathway has done for me, as it's totally been a 180 shift in the presentations. I've actually ripped them apart and said, I need to be more exciting. And also, I've animated the PowerPoints because the PowerPoints were very blah. It was kind of funny. I'm like, wow, I got blah PowerPoints and a blah speaker. Now I have an animated speaker, which is me, and I have animated more exciting PowerPoints, which we cut out a lot of the other information. So I want to thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you very much, Les. Our second speaker this morning is Marty Johnston, and his evaluator is Mike Florio.
Mr. President, thank you very much, fellow Toastmasters and our guests. Marty will be speaking from the Presentation Mastery Pathways Level 1. And Marty this morning, the base skills of being a Toastmaster are paramount. I mean, they're very important. And what Marty wants to teach us this morning is mentoring. And what better way to have that base that you need to excel inside of Toastmasters than to have a strong mentor. So definitely somebody who can teach us that as a DTM is Marty, and welcome him this morning. And his speech is Mentoring 101. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mike, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. 5 to 7, most welcome guests. By a show of hands, could I see in the audience and on Zoom anyone that is familiar with mentoring? Oh, wow, amazing. And on Zoom also. Have any of you been a mentor? Not as many have been a mentor, but many of us are familiar with mentoring. I was reading in Toastmaster magazine. It was actually online. It was an older magazine. I would like to share a quote to start off by Pat Johnson. Pat Johnson was the 2010-2011 international president of Toastmasters International. And to summarize what she said, to paraphrase her, she said she would have not have stayed in Toastmasters if it weren't for her mentors. And I'm sure we can all relate to that. One might say, what is a mentor? What is mentoring? A mentor is someone that's normally in Toastmasters specifically is someone that is more experienced than someone that's looking for help, the protege or the mentee, if you will. The program actually the Toastmasters International has was revised prior to this current education program, Pathways. And there's some requirements that were required. But before getting into that, I just wanted to, before I define it in more detail, I'm going to talk about three things and just keep it simple this morning for Mentoring 101. I'm going to define mentoring, how to become a mentor, how to sign up, and the benefits of mentoring. So to continue, in order to be a mentor, you have to be more experienced. So International recommends that the mentor be a member in good standing for at least 6 months. Okay, that sounds fine and dandy to me. The mentor also should be familiar with what the pathway or what the person is looking to improve on or to study with you. With that said, there is a program in Toastmasters International for people that want to be a mentor to brush up on these skills, and it's available online. And also, I didn't realize this, but the mentor should meet with the mentee at least 2 hours each month. And that makes sense, because if you're someone that wants to learn, like Les was talking about in his speech and his presentations for his work projects and things he was working on, he had some, they may have been unofficial mentors, but they were mentors, whether he knows it or not, or whether we know it or not. So it's important to spend time with someone, because you're going to get quality information from someone that's been there and they've done that, and they can prevent these little pitfalls and little traps you might fall into. So now that you know a little bit about what mentoring is, I want to tell you how you can sign up. You know, on our AM Lockport website, it's called Free Toast. There is actually a tab to sign up to be a mentor or to request to be a mentor or to be a mentee. And it's a tab, so you have to be a member. You can log in, you can click on that, and then it'll bring up a couple options. It'll say, I would like to be a protege. I would like a mentor. I would like to be a mentor. I'm inexperienced. I would like an experienced mentor. And then there's another option that says, I am an experienced member, but I would still like a mentor. And there's also a tab that asks, an option that asks about mentoring, mentor, and protege. Those are the main ones that I wanted to talk about. But those are the options. And then underneath that, the second part of it is, it tells about your availability. When are you available? If you are a mentor, you want to let the mentee know when you're available, so the mentee can fit you in their schedule, like before the meeting, after the meeting, online, when are they available? And then once you submit that, you'll get an email and you'll be able to communicate with the person that you're going to be the mentor protege team. You'll be able to communicate. So that's in a nutshell how to sign up. And even though that International says that it's the VP of Education's responsibility or duty to promote and use this mentoring program, I want to help Mike reinvigorate this program, because I think it's very worthwhile. And the third main point about mentoring is the benefits. I saw many hands come up, so many of you are familiar with mentors and being a protege, being a mentee. But the benefits are, like I mentioned, you can avoid the pitfalls that you learn from the mentor. There are many shortcuts that you can learn if you want to be on a fast track to reach your DTM, or your fast track to get into your icebreaker, to get into your first path and learn as much as you can. The mentor can explain that to you and show you steps, and the steps to know and the steps to know and the steps to skip. That's what I meant to say. And I definitely had some great mentors when I was working towards my DTM. I had Dave Licata, Steve Smith, Christian Badger Bach. I can remember one in particular. Steve helped me when I was working on my one of my final projects for my leadership project. And Christian Badger Bach was instrumental in keeping me organized. She had a binder with all her projects and all her requirements. She was very organized, and I would like to put that on my list as a paramount action to if I could only do a part of the organizing that Christian did, I'd be a better DTM and a better Toastmaster. In closing, I just want to say that you don't have to be a Pat Johnson, an international past president of Toastmasters, to be a mentor or to stay in Toastmasters. But I think that we owe it to ourselves to be a mentor, to be a protege, because I don't know it all, and I'm sure you don't know it all. We're not know-it-alls. That's why we're here at AM Lockport. So I hope that you take advantage of the program, and I hope it helps you with your goals. Mr. Toastmaster. Lord.
Thank you, Marty. Our last speaker this morning on Zoom is Tracy Farrell, and her evaluator in the room is Steve Smith.
Thank you. Yes, I get to evaluate Tracy this morning. I'm looking forward to this. She is doing the Persuasive Influence Pathway, an L3 elective, Deliver Social Speeches, second speech. Her time, Madam Timer, is 3 to 4 minutes. And the purpose of this project is to practice delivering social speeches in front of club members. So, yes, I do have her title. Tracy Farrell, Ode to Polka Dot.
Thank you, Steve. And I have to tell you, Polka Dot was my beloved childhood dog. He passed away when I was in college, and my brother was away in the Army, so I never got a proper eulogy. So today, I'm going to share with you his eulogy. He was the pet my parents said we couldn't have. Luckily, I had a grandmother who was paramount in changing their minds. And on Christmas Day, he showed up. Best Christmas ever. No present compared to our little hairball that was just as happy as we were. The entire day we spent trying to determine a name for this dog. And how we came up with Polka Dot is beyond me, because this dog didn't have a single spot on him. But from that day on, Polka Dot was our constant companion. In the morning, he would wake us up with a cold, wet nose, or if we didn't wake up, he would sit there and whine until we finally got out of bed. And after school, he would follow us around the neighborhood with all of our friends. Yep, everyone loved Polka Dot, except for when we were trying to play hide and seek and he'd always give us up. Or, yeah, when we were playing kickball and he would chase the ball or be in the way when we were trying to run to those bases. We still loved him. And at dinner time, he would quietly sit under the table while me and my brother would pass him those peas and carrots that we didn't want. But he was happy to take them. Yep, he eventually grew to be 70 pounds. And he didn't realize it because he still thought he was our lap dog. Eventually, my mom too grew to love him. Except for when he would jump in the car every time we tried to go someplace. I think she was particularly irritated when one day he got loose, ran to Pizza Hut 2 blocks away, jumped into a stranger's car, and refused to get out. Finally, they had to find our phone number on his tag, and my mom had to go over there and get him out of their car. But with those same antics, she grew to know Mrs. Holzbar, who lived on Pine Street. Every time Polka Dot would get out, he'd run to Mrs. Holzbar's house. I don't know why, because we never really knew her until then. And Mrs. Holzbar had our phone number on her speed dial, I'm sure, because My mom would have to go over there every time. He also had a wonderful sense of time. And this is what my parents especially loved, because my brother had a 12 o'clock curfew. And if he wasn't home at midnight, Polka Dot would run upstairs outside their bedroom and pace right in front of their door. And those little nails of his would click on the hardwood floors, waking my parents up. Yeah, my brother didn't appreciate that so much. But he was with us for our entire childhood. He was our companion, playmate, and protector. The memories we have of Polka Dot will be with us forever, and he is truly missed. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Tracy. Could I get a timers report, please, on our 3 speakers?
It is obviously paramount in Toastmasters that we keep track of the time. I'm not always very good at it. Sometimes I start paying attention to the speech and not paying attention to the time. Everyone qualified today. Les with 1025, so he snuck under the, he's right in there. Marty, 719, so you got it. And Tracy, 345. Thank you.
So please cast your votes for Les, Marty, or Tracy, and someone will come around and collect the ballots, and we have a poll up online. Before I invite Kate up for table topics, I have some St. Patrick's Day facts for you all. So Dave, get your scholar cap on. St. Patrick wasn't Irish. It wasn't Irish. Thank you to goodhousekeeping.com to look on that. It was actually British, which I really did not know about. Anybody know what his birth name was? Maywin Stucat. That's what I also found too. I was like, wait, what? That's an unusual name. That's a good, yeah, there you go. Historians say St. Patrick's color was blue, not green. The use of green on the holiday became common during the 1600s and 1700s when the clover became a symbol of nationalism and wearing green on lapels became the norm. And all you beer lovers out there, St. Patrick's Day 2018, Americans were estimated to have spent a record-breaking $5.9 billion, with the average person paying $39.65, but it wasn't always such a party holiday. Now, that's a pretty significant bar tab, if I say so. All right, with the ballots collected, I will invite up Kate to do table topics. Please help me welcome back up Kate.
Thank you, Eric. And then we'll do the evaluations after that, after this, sounds like. Okay. I want to see who else joined us on Zoom. I think I saw Marshall. And then, all right, I've got 3 candidates who don't have roles today, I believe. Is our guest interested? Nope, I saw the eyes. That's okay, we'll wait, because we do have 3 dues-paid members who can participate in today's table topics. I would like to invite Jackie in the room up first. I don't believe you have a role. Jackie. Okay, and reminder to all Toastmasters to use the lovely word of the day, paramount, of extreme importance. Please tell us, if you don't mind, share about your trips to Ireland. I would love to hear about that. Thank you, Jackie.
Highly recommend that you get there someday. The first time I went to Ireland was at the end of a sojourn in Italy. My husband was stationed in Naples, so we lived in Italy for about a year, maybe a little more. Toured around with a baby on our backs, and he took his discharge in Europe so we could travel around. We got Eurail passes, which allowed you to hop on and off trains. And our goal really was to end up in Ireland because we both have Irish roots. So it was a lot of fun. We had no money, but because we had a baby on our back, we got a lot of attention everywhere we went. People would be happy to pinch her cheeks and tell us how beautiful she was, and she always responded to everyone. The next time we went to Ireland was to celebrate our 50th birthday and my mother, Annie Sullivan's 80th birthday. So that was really a highlight and a little more comfortable than that first trip with the backpack baby because we had a little more money to spend. And then some of my children and I went again a few years back. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. It's paramount to meet the people and engage with them. You just meet so many characters and have so many adventures. It's a wonderful way to spend time. So give it a try, everyone. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jackie. I didn't know what you could share in just 2 minutes. I'm very impressed. Marshall, are you still on with us today? Marshall, have you ever heard of St. Patrick's Day before? What comes to mind when you hear St. Patrick's Day? And use the word of the day, paramount. Extreme importance. It's paramount. Marshall.
Okay, thank you. I just heard the St. Patrick's Day last week in a foreigner's bar, but in China, Communist Party is paramount, so we can't use Western about religious names. So they translate the St. Patrick Day to Irish Green Day.
Irish Green.
Halloween to be Harvest Day. And the Easter is Eggs Day. Christmas, Trees Day. So, but you can't plant the tree on Christmas. It will be froze. Frozen. And I know St. Patrick, the dress code was green. I don't have any green clothes, especially hat or cap. Because in China, green cap or hat means your wife treat you.
Treats you good or treats you bad?
Yeah. Because your wife or your husband has another girlfriend or boyfriend of the side.
Oh.
And then they will say, hey, Marshall wearing a green cap. So in China, we don't sell any green cap. So it's very difficult to find green clothes, especially for men. But it's very interesting. I heard the Chicago, they put the river to be green. That's very the biggest imagine a picture on my mind. Thank you. Go back to.
Thank you for the laughs, Marshall. Easter is Egg Day. Christmas is Tree Day. Very sanitized versions. Thank you for celebrating Irish Green Day with us today. Okay. Margot, are you on? I see you. Margot
Yep,
can't
I'm
hide.
here.
What does today's theme make you think of? Margot.
Well, Kate, how about if I share a story from the Celtic Festival that is paramount every time I think about it? A few years back, when you folks were still down in Krull Park, I had a very busy day at the winery, and Jim said, let's go down to the Celtic Festival for dinner. So at the end of the day, as many of my employees know, I kind of finished the bottles of wine that have this much in them, which I had done. And my lovely son, Kevin, decided his mother needed a hard cider, and he brought me a hard cider, not knowing his father got me a hard cider. Now, I haven't had dinner yet, and I've enjoyed 2 hard ciders. You may not know this, but the Bittner family actually has Irish blood in it. Jim's grandmother was Irish. And I got into a whole discussion of Kevin of whether or not he needed or wanted a kilt. Within about 2 minutes, of course, he is rolling his eyes at his mother's giggling and being silly. However, it did come out that he would be interested in a kilt. I have been researching our family tree. I have not found the correct pattern yet for it. I have found one for the correct county, so I may get him that. But my husband brought me something to eat, and another friend was kind enough to bring me another hard cider. So, as those of you who know, I do not hold my liquor well. I had a very amusing evening that, and then I slept quite well. But the paramount memory I have is of my oldest sitting there and just looking at me and rolling his eyes. Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Margot. That is excellent. I'll just get you another hard cider. I will share, that's something interesting I've learned when you brought up the kilts, the tartans. In Scotland, it's often by clan or family. In Ireland, it's often by county. There are some family clan tartans, but it's much more common to see regional and area clans. And they also play the pipes. The Uilleann pipes are something amazing. I made a joke. So the Uilleann pipes are different than the bagpipes. If the sound is amazing, and it's not the blown into bag. It's like it's a squeeze bag instead. And I joked many years ago, well, the Irish didn't want to put their drink down. So they came up with another kind. But I learned more about these Uilleann pipes, and there is no way the Irish could figure it out, I suppose. It's a bad prejudice, I guess we have, that we're all drinkers, etc. Except that Uilleann pipe is complicated. You would spill your drink if you tried to do both at the same time. I guess we can call for a word and timers report. So come up on deck and we will do both. And then we can hand it back over to our Toastmaster of the day. All right.
For table topics, all 3 qualify. Well, let's see. Jackie is 204, Marshall is 218, which according to the rules is 3 over, correct? Okay, and Margot is 144. So, okay, everyone qualified. You're right. You are right. Yes. Okay. Very good.
Marshall, you qualify because I interrupted you several times. And our word master, how did Paramount do for the table topics portion? Then we'll call you back up for the rest.
Thank you. Everybody did awesome on the word of the day. People that used it once: David Jones, Maggie Craig, Len Thornton, Les Robinson, Mike Florio, Marty Johnson, Tracy Farrell, Beth Banks, Jackie Kenny, Marshall Song. People that used it twice: Phil Russell, Kate Orr, and Margot Bittner. Nice job. Thank you very much.
So we did hear that from all of our contestants. So please tear off your ballot for your top participant in table topics today. And I'll hand it back to Eric.
Thank you very much, Kate. And we'll have those ballots pass around and on Zoom for the poll. And we'll invite Kate back up one more time as she's going to evaluate Les's speech.
When you said stick around, I didn't realize you were talking to me. And then I realized, Les. Oh my goodness, Les. Are you there? I want to see Les. I want to make eye contact. There you
How
are.
you doing?
Hi, Les. I think that today the capstones of your capstone speech were your humor and your humility. Your humor and your humility, which I don't think we see enough of from you. I think because often you give professional speeches, often in the insurance field, that you are a professional and nationwide speaker, that I appreciated that you gave us some personal connections. And your wife visited today. Sometimes it's your dogs, sometimes it's a family member. I loved your mix of casual and professional language and your poise. I thought from the start you had a good hook. Your analogy with the tuning up of the car, fantastic. We all kind of feel, I've done this before, I'm good, I've got this. And you gave us some humility. Oh, I learned something in this project, in these paths, in this project. You used the word of the day repeatedly. That was great. I think you mentioned listening to your evaluators, and we also see that you're listening to your evaluators and improving each time. For example, your audio, your visual, your headset, your lighting, your angle. You're clearly listening to suggestions, and that's what we're all here for, to get suggestions, to get that perspective from others who are seeing something a little bit differently than us. I liked when you got close to the camera for emphasis. I really liked that use. It is challenging to find something to work on, so I'm going to suggest this. Can you please find a Thursday that you can visit us in person so we can see how tall you are since post-surgery? Because you're 6'4"? You're tall. I thought I was the shortest member, but now we've got some competition here. I guess my mother joined, and then I got an inch on my mom. We've got some other shorties in the club, so visit us if you can. To challenge yourself. Now, you are already the DTM, the Distinguished Toastmaster. That is what the pinnacle of the paramount level of what we reach towards in Toastmasters. You already have that level. Marty has too. He's the first in our club that has now reached the Distinguished Toastmaster on Zoom in the pathways as opposed to the legacy manual. So perhaps continue on. I'll say fantastic because you are on level 5 and I still haven't reached a level 5. I've got 2 level 4s, and I just have avoided the longer projects. So kudos to you for that. I would like everyone in here to do what Les does. Think about this in my last 30 seconds. We have our second quarter coming up for the schedule, and Les is one of the best members that says, I want to speak on this day, and this day, and this day. And that's how he gets level 5 as fast as he did. Great work, Les. Thank you so much.
Next on deck, evaluating Marty, is Mike Florio.
President, thank you very much. Fellow Toastmasters, and especially Marty. I like how Marty started out this morning with a question. He started out with, did anybody have a mentor? And I saw a lot of people actually raise their hand out here. And when Marty asked that question, I thought of my mentor when I first started. And my mentor was, and she might not even realize it right now, was Margot. When I walked in the door, she was the first one to greet me. She stayed by my side probably for months because I was so terrified to speak. And she helped me through everything from being a Toastmaster to really anything. So I understand the importance of being a mentor, and I know Marty does too. And he really conveyed that this morning, that's what, that's what we need. When you come into this club, he talked about even a world-class speaker that said she would not have stayed in Toastmasters if she did not have a mentor. And I have to agree with that too, Marty. I mean, that was a very good point that you brought up, that if you don't have somebody by your side, you kind of float around a little bit and then you go, oh boy, this might not be for me. And then next thing you know, you're out the door. So that was wonderful that you started out that way with a question. And then true to what Margot had taught me as a mentor, you kept it simple, right? You said you had 3 things. And that's what Margot would tell me. She goes, keep it simple. To have 3 things that you want, 3 points that you want to get across with to people. Make sure that you go over them again, which you did, of course, and and then tie it up in the end and get out of there. And I like the ending as well. Not everybody knows everything. There's definitely there's something that you can learn from everyone here, and we've proved that time and time again that there are little nuggets that you get every time that you come here, and that's what keeps you coming back. Could you what could you have worked on? Maybe a handout of where to go. Say, okay, it's very simple to get online. Here's a handout of what you could see, maybe a screenshot of where to go. You could also have used maybe a little bit more vocal variety. You sometimes tend to kind of get involved in the information and not really kind of get a little bombastic maybe every once in a while, Marty. And I thought your gestures were good. They were natural. You could have used maybe a few more and maybe a little bit more eye contact. But beyond that, I thought it was a wonderful speech. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Our last evaluator evaluating Tracy Farrow is Steve Smith.
Thank you, Eric. Now, I don't know about you, but when I looked at this and said, Ode to Polka Dot, who or what is polka dot? I didn't know. So I'm scratching my head, and she, right off the bat, explained to us polka dot was her dog, and then the light went on. Ah, okay. She gave us, in effect, a eulogy. And she spoke in glowing terms of this dog. And the fact that she only had 3 or 4 minutes to do this made it, I think, tougher. It's hard to get a lot across in a couple of minutes, but she did. She gave us a quick thumbnail history of the dog, why they love the dog, how she come to get the dog. And the fact that, what I love, the fact that it was a 70-pound dog that still thought it was a lap dog. I've known a few of them. She told funny stories about it. And she came around to finally sum it all up nicely by saying he was a companion and he'll be truly missed. And I like that. So in a few minutes, she gave us a full speech about all this. And my only thing that I could find for improvement was, and it's tough to do gestures online, was I think maybe she was doing it, was tough to see online. So I would encourage her to come here live and do it if you can, because, well, I don't know about you, but I like the audience. I have to have the interaction to see, let me know if I'm bombing or doing well, But overall, under that tight format, I think she did an excellent job. Mr. Toastmaster, where'd he go? There he is.
Thank you, Steve. Could I get a final timers report on our 3 evaluators, ma'am? Timer.
Timer's job really keeps me on my toes, I have to say. So our evaluators came in at Kate, 318, Mike Florio at 252, and Steve Smith at 139, which I believe means they all qualify. Thank you very much.
Please cast your votes for our 3 evaluators. Kate, Mike, and Steve will be collecting the ballots, and there's a poll on Zoom. All right, to keep with the flow of the meeting, I would like to invite up Sylvia Baptiste, our general evaluator, to give her evaluation, and if she would like to, call for reports. Please help me welcome Sylvia.
Thank you, Eric. Eric, this was a good meeting this morning. I thought, oh, St. Patrick's Day passed, let's move on to the next holiday, St. Joseph's Day yesterday. I did miss Niagara Falls yesterday because a lot of Italian people I knew there, they're gone, unfortunately. You had some hiccups and you solved those hiccups as people were walking in. I know you approached me telling me that you needed a word master, you needed inspiration, you needed a quote person. And of course, you got Darcy right on board with the word, and she did an excellent job. Paramount was the word of the day, and people used it many, many times. Top of their head with the speeches and into the valuations. It was great. You did a toast, Eric, which I liked. That's what Toastmasters is all about, to start our morning. And you did something that we always forget. You started us with the applause, and it was great. Change of the schedule. It's good to change things up. It kept us on our toes, and you kept the meeting going. Great job. Evaluators. Kate. She has so much energy in the morning. Do you drink coffee? I liked when you introduced Les, you repeated his title twice, because sometimes I miss what the title is, and repeating it twice has got my attention. You did a sandwich approach, you challenged Les to get 2 DTMs, and you challenged the audience too, which is great. Mike, I love how you do evaluation. Introduction of Marty, you didn't use the notes like everybody else, like I do anyway. You read, well, he's in this path, he's on this level, 5 to 7 minutes. You had the mentor thing top of your head. It meant something to you, and it showed. You added a little, it was also a sandwich approach. You had a good suggestion, the handouts. I like that. Steve, last year, this time, Steve won the best evaluation contest. He's a good evaluator. There's no doubt about it. He beat me. So he did he did the sandwich approach also. The best suggestion I liked was attend in person. It does draw people into the meeting and it gets more interaction. As of reports, I'm going to start with David Jones, our grammarian. David?
Good morning, and thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I don't have a lot, which I think means we were just speaking normal and well, but I did find a few phrases and words that stuck out to me, starting with Phil Russell, of course, a Philism. The touchscreen was not too touchy. Always entertaining to hear from Phil. Lynn, as with me, was reprising his role from last week. So we both did the same thing. I like the word reprising. Les used the word itty bitty goal, and I looked it up, and it is a word in the dictionary online. It's an adjective, and I just like the visual of itty bitty. But then on the other side, Kate, when she was talking about table topics word of the day, is extreme importance. Extreme is the total opposite of itty bitty. And we learned from Marshall, even though it's not a grammar thing, but we learned don't wear green in China, especially if you're with your spouse. And finally, Steve indicated that it was a thumbnail history of her dog. And I haven't heard the word thumbnail since when I was in paralegal school, like 30 years ago, because that's usually a legal term, but thumbnail is a great word. And back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Bill Russell is our ah master. How did we do with our ahs and so's, owns?
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. We did pretty good or did well. Only 3 people came out with no Oz, but one has to speak again. Len, he had none. Margot had none, and David had none. But going on to who had it, a couple from Eric, and he does like so. Sylvia was 3. Maggie only 1. Myself 1. Beth, she did a so and 2. Kate, you're the winner of the Oz with 5. Les, a so and an ah. Mike Florio, 3 Oz, 1 so, and an er. Marty, 4 Oz. Steve Smith, you had an in there. Tracy, 1 Jackie, so, only 1. Marshall, 4 Oz. Again, Margot, none. Our word master, and I apologize, I haven't been there to meet our new word master, but she did have 2 Oz. And of course, David, none. My report, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Phil. Len is next with our quiz. How will you do?
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I hope I succeeded in my goal to test your powers of listening today. First off, Les Robinson. How old is he? 57, good. And which knee did he recently have replaced?
His.
I'm thinking it's just left based on the way he was leaning, but things get reversed around. Left or right? Oh, he's going now. Okay. Let's go with left based on my scientific analysis there. Okay. Okay, what was Polka Dot's peak weight? 70 pounds. Yeah, that's a lapdog for you. Okay, in Margot's Paramount Celtic Festival experience, how many glasses of hard cider did she consume?
3.
3? I think there was another one in there. I thought it was 4, but I lost track in all the excitement. Okay, in China, is it good or bad to wear green? That's a good thing. I did not know that. Something to keep in mind. And which member of this club has never, ever tasted a Guinness? Eric.
Eric.
Oh, it's a wall of shame. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Eric, did you want to call for awards? Okay, that's right. We have Wordmaster Darcy one more time coming up. How did we know our word did pretty well? Everybody brought it in. She is fine. We did it. We had Paramount in table topics and speeches and evaluations. That's great.
All right. Thank you, Sylvia. All right, let's hand out some awards. Our best table topics this morning is Marshall. Congratulations, Marshall. Our best evaluator this morning, the lonely guy sitting in the back, is Mike Florio.
Got to try an ARF and ARF. It's called half and half. That way you kind of break your way in.
Okay. Ah, okay. I think I tried a Guinness cupcake, but never like a full on drink. But about full on drink. That's the most truthful thing. Yes. I'll keep that in mind, David. And our best speaker this morning is Tracy Farrell. All right, since Tracy is not in person, but I will have Mike come back up to draw for 50-50 split club. We did last week. Len's the winner. Yeah, yes, he close his eyes and Mike, Mike, last 3 numbers.
Yep.
And somebody might have to help me because
Glasses.
I forgot, I left my glasses there.
The last 3 numbers are 874.
874. Oh, come on up and
Claim your winning.
Okay.
tell us if she enjoyed the.
Yeah. There we go.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Thank you.
And did you want to say anything about our meeting today? Your choice. Well, when I said that I didn't want to come up and talk, it was before I knew you were going to talk about Ireland and that. Because I went to Ireland twice and I loved it. And it was the paramount moments of my life is going to Ireland. My girlfriend came to visit my house and she noticed that there was pictures all over my wall. And she said, they remind me, they're all the same. And I had collected them for 30 years. And she said, you must have a guardian angel from Ireland because they're all around the 1800s. They're all the same picture. And I went around from room to room and every picture on my wall. So that was the beginning of me going to Ireland. And it was the most exciting thing. As you were saying, the people were wonderful. They, miracles happened over in Ireland. I found the tomb of a relative I was looking for without direction. I just happened on it and I was looking for James Bryan from 1865, and I found James Bryan from 1765 without any direction. So I'll tell you more about it at another time on another topic. So thank you very much.
How about next week, Peggy? How about speaking next week in my place?
Don't forget your quarters.
Come on, you can do it.
Thank you. All righty. Our toast. Oh, you're up here anyway.
Okay. I'm up here anyway. If you have not paid your dues, there are a few of you, please do it now. It is, let's see, March 20th, and we have till the end of the month. So please get either your check, cash, whatever in. Yes. Marshall paid, so no excuses for those of us who are here. Come on. Yeah. Apparently I am Toastmaster next week, but I do not have a theme yet. So I'll get there. Thanks. I mean, he already took Irish, so you know.
Oh, yes, I did. Speakers for next week is David Shannon, Joe Butnick, and Margot, and anybody who wants to take Margot's spot. Darcy, you're welcome. And Jill is our alternate speaker. And Kate, do you have another announcement to make?
We today will go to Tom's Diner for breakfast instead. We haven't been in a while, and I would like to toast to Les when we are there, even though it's a breakfast gathering. And we have done moments of silence for our members who have passed, those who came on late. I will share the obituary. I just will read the beginning part. With heavy hearts, we announce the passing of Leslie Sigarnik, a devoted husband, father, grandfather, mentor, and friend. He passed on March 16th. Leslie was the beloved husband of Diana Sigarnik, cherished father of Ken, married to Jody Sigarnik and the late Matthew Sigarnik, and the proud grandfather of Max, Maddie, and Mason. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, Leslie built a life centered on family, kindness, and a commitment to helping others. He initially raised his family in New York City before settling in Buffalo, New York, and later spent his retirement near Philadelphia to be closer to his loved ones. A longtime Toastmaster enthusiast and a deeply charitable person, Leslie dedicated much of his life to career counseling, helping thousands of individuals navigate job transitions. There is much more, but then at the end, in lieu of flowers, donations may be made to the great career networks because he was so dedicated to helping others in their careers and uplifting them and their families. So thank you so much, everybody, and keep Leslie and his family in your hearts. And we'll see you at breakfast if you can come to Tom's Diner today.
Thank you, Kate. Before we adjourn the meeting, let's raise a glass to Les, and may he rest in peace and keep his family and everybody in thoughts and prayers. All right. With that, we'll stop the recording.